A stylish way, as ever, to start a vlog, but hello, welcome to a 24-hour readathon. It is 20 minutes until midnight, and at midnight my Patreon 24-hour readathon starts, so we are going to do a dedicated vlog for it. I have big plans, I have cozy plans, I have plans to hopefully read a decent amount, because the last 24-hour readathon I did, I think I only ended up finishing 2 books and starting a third. I would like to do better than that this time, so we will see how that goes. But I'm stood on my chair. I don't know why I've started this vlog at this angle and this height. I've never done this before, but come with me. Down to where I'll be spending my time and sat on something. Ah, dog toy. Great. Oh, it's just gone under the chair and then Finn will cry. Oh, there we go. Anyway. This is where I will be spending most of the next 24 hours. I will try and switch it up a little bit just so you don't get sick of seeing exactly the same setting. But if you do, know that that's kind of the intention. That's what I'm going into this expecting to do. Anyway, 24-hour readathon. It is my Patreon 24-hour readathon, which is always Pokemon themed. I've got my Eevee sweater on. It's got the Evolutions on the back, Gen 1 Evolutions on the back. And aim of the game is to complete the prompts for the grass-type Pokemon. And, you know, as you naturally would for a grass-type Pokemon, I'm going to be reading Watermoon, because that makes complete sense. But this does actually fulfill one of the prompts to read a healing fiction. I think this is a healing fiction, maybe. If it's not, there are other prompts that it will fit for as well. But this is going to be my number one priority for this 24-hour readathon. This is the one I'm going to be starting on Midnight Sprints. I've just seen that it's blurbed by the author of Shanghai Immortal, which concerns me, because I hated that book. Anyway, I'm gonna get cozy. Whoa. Are you plugged in? Oh, you are. Ooh, you're a little bit bright. Let's turn you down. Whoa. I'm gonna get cozy and get ready for sprints at midnight with my book in my reading chair, and we will see how this 24-hour reading period goes. Of course, I will update you as we go. It's just ticked over to midnight. Hello. Happy midnight. Happy gym day. Welcome to your midnight sprints. How are you all doing? I am doing a sneaky little vloggy vlog. So, say hi to the vlog. Hello everybody. Hello. And then lots of hellos to the vlog. Hi vlog. Look at you all saying hi to the vlog. Alright, I'll turn it off now. Hello. It is 2:14 a.m. I have made reading progress in this. This naked cover is gorgeous. Like the little boat on it and the spreadsheets. It's just a really pretty book. Anyway, I have got up to chapter 13, which is page 71. I have been sat in this spot this whole time and not moved. And I'm enjoying this so far. I I'm liking the magic, I'm liking the world, and how the two different sides of the world are like ordered together. And I'm liking the setup of this pawn shop and how I don't quite know if this father figure is to be trusted or not to be trusted. I like Hannah as a character so far. Like, I don't think she's necessarily happy, but she has left things in the hands of fate. And then the male character we've just met, is it Kai? Is it pronounced Kai or K? Maybe K? Kai? He's a physicist, and physics is just immediately really cool to me. So him being a physicist and his mind and the way his thoughts work and his scientific approach to things and just him being a physicist is really cool. So I really like him so far as well. So far off to a very good start. I am a little apprehensive though, because I have heard that this does start very well for a lot of people and then it goes downhill. But so far, I'm having a very good time with this. I'm liking kind of the whimsy of this world, this like other world. We haven't explored a lot of it yet, but like the way it's kind of pitched is quite whimsical and dreamy, but we haven't gone very far with it yet. So I'm very intrigued to learn more about it, but so far having a very good time. So that is that. And as much as I am enjoying sitting here reading, it is getting late. As I say, it's gone 2:15 in the morning, so I should probably go to bed. But yeah, 2:15 in the morning though is the perfect time to show you how great my Sirius light is. I have been using, that's really bright in my eyeballs. I have been using my Sirius light this evening, as I do all evenings when I read in this chair. It is perfect for a nighttime read, and you can make it really bright and really dim, so it can be just the perfect level for those weary nighttime eyes to get the right balance for reading. And I've been having a great time with it. So thank you very much to Jadeyraereads for sponsoring this video as well. As you know, I'm a big fan of them. I've used this one for months and months now. I do also have one in the bedroom, which when I go into the bedroom, as much as I'm tired, I will turn my other one on instead and then read in there for a little while because that's what I do. Or I try to anyway. But yeah, big fan of the brand. I will leave a link to them down below, and I do have a discount code for you, which is Jade, just my name, Jade, all in capitals, which will get you £150 off a HD Sirius light, which is what mine is. It's the heavy HD, all in white with the handle. I love it. Big fan. So I will leave the details for them down below. But yeah, as much as I'm enjoying reading under this daylight wavelength technology light, I think I need no light and sleep. Good morning. It is later in the morning than I would have wanted it to be, in all honesty, but my plan is to cozy up right here. I've got out the spare duvet. Finn's already found his home here, but cozy up here again and hopefully get through a big old chunk of Watermoon. This looks really cozy. So I'm going to get snug, as if I haven't just spent the whole night in bed. Eesh. Finny boy, can I get in? Can I? I'm sound my headphones. Whoopsie. I'm kind of in. And there's a Finny boy. I've recently been recovering from a cold, and I thought I was feeling so much better, but this morning I've woken up and my throat is really sore again. So I might need to whack out the strepsils today or something, because it's really sore. But the rest of the cold is gone. Just have a really rough throat. Anyway, I'll deal with that personally. For now, I'm going to get on with some reading. It is nearly 2 PM and I still have not yet finished Watermoon, but I am nearing the end of it. I am on page 244, so I should hopefully finish it sometime soon. I'm about to start my next set of Patreon sprints, starting at 2 o'clock. I will then go on for most of the evening on that topic. I should start the stream right now. There we go, got my starting screen on. But my thoughts on this. I am still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying the world. I'm still enjoying the way that the two different worlds are connected and how they interact or don't interact. I like the whimsy of it. I like the dreamlike nature of everything. The romance isn't, like, fabulous, but that's not what I'm reading it for. So our two main characters, obviously one's from one world, one's from the other. They're developing feelings for each other pretty quickly. It is fairly fast, but it's still not like insta-lovey, but it is just pretty quick. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm liking the revelations we're making about this dreamlike world and how it may or may not be dreamlike. How Kai, is learning about that world, but he's still applying, like, his scientist, physicist brain to everything. He's a very logical thinker, but at some points he is kind of having to give that up for the magic of this other world. There are certain parts of it that maybe do feel a little bit repetitive, with the whimsy and the... what's another word for whimsy? I've run out of adjectives. But with that whimsy and that dreamlike nature, there are certain things that's like, okay, we get it. Bit repetitive, where they're going from, like, ponds and puddles and pools. I mean, obviously, with it being water moon, there is a lot of focus on water that reflects the moon. But some of it can be a little bit repetitive. But, like, the magical modes of transport are just so cool, like being folded up into paper and origami birds and travelling on a song and through a storm and through puddles and ponds and stuff. I'm enjoying it. I have had the Titanic part and the part in the museum, which I will admit felt a bit uncomfortable. But I don't know if that was the intent, like, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. So there's a museum in this other world that takes, like, the biggest mistakes and regrets. Have I even explained what this book's about? Our main character, Hannah, runs a pawn shop that pawns people's regrets and mistakes. And then in this world there is a museum of the biggest regrets, the biggest mistakes. And in there we have the Titanic moment, which I know Gavin said that he didn't like because it was factually incorrect. And then there's also a moment where it's something to do with Hitler, and it just felt very... And the whole point of it is, how can humanity learn without looking at some of the biggest mistakes that have been made in history? Which I get, like, we should learn from the mistakes from history, but that whole section of the book was a little bit jarring. From the, like, whimsical wonder to, oh, here's some, like, tragedies of history, was a bit, whoa. But other than that, I'm still having a really good time, so I'm looking forward to continuing. I just thought I had better give you an update, so there you go. I'm going to do some sprints now. I finished the book. I cannot remember the last time a book made me feel such heartache. Like, the end of this, like, my heart aches for the longing and the pain and the choices and the regret and, like, I hurt. Didn't make me cry. Okay, maybe didn't make me hurt that much. But I loved this. And I do think that I've landed on a kind of unpopular opinion from the people that I know that have also read this. Like, people, I think I mentioned I was a little apprehensive because people liked the beginning of it and then didn't like the end of it so much. But I thoroughly enjoyed this the whole way through. The whimsy, the dreaminess, the ethereal nature. It just had such a good vibe for me, and I really liked it. Yes, I've mentioned that certain points of it did become a little bit repetitive, but it's fine. And the romance wasn't doing an awful lot for me, but then somehow the heartache did hit me, so it must have been doing something. And the familial pain as well from both of them, the abandonment and the rejected feelings and the longing. Oh, the emotions of it just completely burrowed into my heart. And I just feel so much. I loved this. I think rating wise, I am going for a 4.5 with this. I loved it. Just in case I haven't properly explained what this book is actually about, this book follows Hana, who is the daughter of a man who runs a pawn shop in the other world. In that pawn shop, the people who find it because they are meant to, because there is a choice or a regret that they have that they need to pawn away. This book starts on Hannah's first day of taking over the pawn shop from her father. But when she goes down for her first day, she finds the store ransacked, her father gone, and one of the pawned choices missing, which is tragic in this world. The choices cannot go missing. It has dire consequences. So she must go on a journey to find the missing choice and her father in the process. But before she embarks on that journey, K, I'm gonna call him K. K comes into the pawn shop, kind of like a normal customer would, but instead of pawning a choice of his own, he agrees to help Hannah on her journey, on her quest, and accompany her on this journey through the other world. He's a physicist, he's a scientist, he has a logical brain. I think he's really cool. And they, see all of these whimsical, wonderful, fantastical things and gradually fall in love throughout it. There are paper cranes, there's origami, there's travel on a song and travel through puddles and the moons reflected in water. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And I did not see the lies, because there's so many lies and so many hidden truths, not just outright lies, but lies by omission, hidden truths, secrets. And I didn't see it coming. If you've read it, hopefully you know which one I mean. But it surprised me. But then how it ended. Oh, I will say the heartache I was feeling at the ending, I feel almost would have been more impactful if we didn't have literally like the last 3 pages. But I also would have been really bitter about that, so I am also grateful for those last 3 pages. But the pain, oh, I I loved it. I loved it. So for all the people that say, it's good start but bad ending, I humbly disagree. I had a fantastic time. So 4.5 star for that one. And that does mean now that I need to find my next read of this 24-hour readathon. And I'm thinking I might go for an audiobook, because on BookBee I stumbled upon the Baby Dragon Cafe. And I think I might like it, but I don't know. It could go either way. But I think I'm going to give it a go. Because it's romance, but cozy fantasy. But it's called the Baby Dragon Cafe. And I want to know. It's in the top 10 for romance and fantasy, so it is a romantasy? The description of it literally just says, if I could give it 6 stars, I would. So clearly that's a quote from a review. A cafe owner and a local heartthrob. But there's dragons. Oh. Okay, I didn't want to read that. I'm gonna give it a go still. But the blurb now makes me think that maybe it's not for me. But I'm gonna give it a go. So, Baby Dragon Cafe, coming up next. DNF. So, Baby Dragon Cafe has not gone to plan. I am DNFing that. It is not for me. It is very much like it's a contemporary romance if you replace the dragons with dogs or puppies. So it's basically like a puppy cafe, and this has led to a whole conversation on Sprints about the ethics of dog cafes, which I personally don't get behind, FYI. But I can't do it. I need to DNF it because the writing is just really shocking, and it is objectively bad. Like, it reads like a middle grade almost that's trying to be adult, which is uncomfortable. The baby talk, admittedly it's baby talk to the doggos, but the baby talk is uncomfortable. And then there was a scene where our female character and our male character, they're in a rose garden, they barely know each other, and then he's just sucking her finger, which is really weird and uncomfortable. And his background is like, it's just trying so hard to be this dark, broody, mysterious background to make him the grumpy to her sunshine. But it doesn't work. It feels too try hard, and it doesn't match his character, the way his character speaks, because it reads kind of childlike, and then there's baby talk, and I don't like it. But I got to 35%, so over a third of the way through that. I gave it a good shot. I thought I was going to commit myself to actually getting through that, but I can't get past the writing. It's not for me. And it is definitely like, if you just replace the dragons with dogs, it's a contemporary romance. There's no real fantastical element to it. They're mentioning like dragon racing, illegal dragon racing, and how dangerous riding a dragon is and being a dragon rider, but it's just so like unexplored and unfounded. It's a contemporary romance with a dog that's called a dragon. I don't like it. I'm having a terrible time, so I'm DNFing that one. Which does mean I need to find another book to read, so bear with me whilst I do that. It needs to be one that I can finish tonight, though. Oh, and it's already 7 PM now. Eek! Okay, I need to find a book. Okay, so I'm gonna try this one, Letters from the Ginza Shihodo Stationery Shop. The audiobook for this one is also on BookBeat, and as I didn't listen to all of Baby Dragon Cafe, I still have plenty of hours to listen to another audiobook, so I can immersion read this one, or I could just listen to it. I'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can still finish it tonight. That would be nice. 7.5 hours, but I will double speed that. So, just under 4 hours. So that should be doable. That should be fine. So I'm gonna do that and see how I think of this one. But this is a translated healing fiction. I feel like I haven't read like a proper healing fiction in a bit. Have I read one this year? Oh yeah, I did some in January, didn't I? Yeah. But I'm still like feeling the translated healing fic, so hopefully this is a good one. There's a stationery shop and there's something about writing letters. Inside the stationery shop is everything that your heart desires, from delicate paper to fountain pens that fit exactly to the shape of your hand. Here you'll find your words flow, helping to unlock your memories, secret longings, and your own mysteries. So the owner of the stationery shop insists that you write using the stationery, and it will like unlock the memories, and in typical healing fiction fashion it will be like overcoming something, making a choice, accepting closure on something, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna give this one a go. Gutted that Baby Dragon Cafe didn't work out. I'm so annoyed about it as well. in Letters from the Ginza Shiodo stationery shop. And it is, to start with, very info dumpy about stationery and pens. Like, there was a whole page about the different barrel sizes of fountain pens, and then different letter paper and envelopes, and different inks, and so on. And it did read a little bit like our main character of that first story had never used a pen before, or written a letter before in his life. So I'm not sure how I feel about the writing style of that. But then when it actually got into the point of the letter he was writing and how the words flowed, and he started to think about his life and the choices he'd made and the things he'd done and so on, it then read a lot more like a normal healing fiction tends to. So I liked it, but I'm not sure if I love it because of the info dumpiness about the stationery. It's a very bizarre thing to read, and like the stationery shop owner is just, nice character, very giving, very much wants to encourage people to enjoy the things that he clearly enjoys as well. But like, he asked what he puts on the front of the envelope. He was like, "Oh, this letter's going in a parcel with something else, so I don't need to write the address on the front of the envelope. What do I put on the front?" And the stationery shop owner's just like, well, the name of the person's a really good idea. Let me fetch you a reference book and find you an example of how to put a name on the front of an envelope. Which didn't feel entirely necessary. It's just a name. Unless there's something I'm not getting about the art of envelopes. But I'm going to move on to story number 2. Quick note on story 2. She didn't even write a letter. Finished! At 11:52. I had all intention of in this vlog not being in the same position the whole time. But here we are. And I've been in this position the whole time. I did give you a little clip of me finishing this book at midnight, or just before midnight. I then ended my Patreon sprints and have just kind of been sat here for a while, and it's now 1 a.m, so here we are. But I did finish Letters from the Ginza Shiodo stationery shop. This was not entirely what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a bit more whimsical, a bit more in line with Before the Coffee Gets Cold, or Chibaneko Kitchen, or the Kamigawa Food Detectives, or something, just something with a little bit of a more whimsical feeling element to it. But it is not. Where in the blurb it's described as hidden away in a neighbourhood is a stationery shop. Inside is everything your heart desires. Here you'll find your words will flow, helping you to unlock your memories, secret longings, and your own mysteries. That led me to believe we would be more in line with some of those other healing fictions that I have read. But that is not the case. This is much more ordinary than that. Because what lies in the stationery shop that helps these people to write their letters, or in certain cases not write their letters, is just Ken. Ken is the owner and the manager of the stationery shop, and Ken is just a good guy, and Ken just wants to help people. So when people go there looking for stationery to write their letters, the first one is a guy wanting to write a letter to his grandma who he hasn't seen in a long while, and they have like some familial drama to get over. He goes to the stationery shop to just purchase the paper and some ink and stuff, and Ken just is a good guy and wants to help and offers him a place to sit to write his letter, and then brings him lunch and a cup of tea and helps him with the letter. The weirdness of, like, here's an example of how to write a name on an envelope, I still haven't quite got past. But there's nothing magical about it. There's nothing whimsical about it. It's just Ken is a good guy. He's just a good guy. And the next one is a girl who wants to write a resignation letter to her boss. But her boss, like, has helped her through so much in her life, and she feels completely indebted to this woman. So she's gone to get the writing supplies, the paper and envelope for her letter. And again, Ken just takes an interest in his customers and wanting to know, what their writing plan is, and then how can he help. And he helps, and so on. It's just Ken being a good guy. So, yeah. I liked Ken. There were certain stories in this which were better than others. I liked the one about the girl writing her resignation letter. That one was quite sweet. That one had a bit more emotional impact to it. There was one about a guy whose ex-wife passed away, but it also came across a little bit weird because we also went through the past of his ex-wives and how he was 50 with a 20-year-old wife, and that is a little bit uncomfortable to me. And then a couple of college students who have feelings for each other but have never done anything with it, almost like a love letter confession. And then someone else who is indebted to an old boss, someone that really helped them get up off their feet, off their back. There were some good letters in here, or in some cases, not letters, because one of them didn't even end up writing a letter, didn't even end up buying any stationery, and Ken just helped them, because Ken is a good guy. I am forming a Ken fan club. But in terms of the book itself, I didn't love this one, and I think if I'm being honest, this is kind of a 2.5 star. This is very middle to me. There were as many things I didn't like as I did like, so I think if I'm just being honest, it is very mid. Some of the stories felt a little bit lacking, like the first one, in a way, because it was just so focused on the info dump about the ink and the pen and the barrel size, and I don't know if just at that point, because it's the first one, I don't know if the author was too focused on I really need to get across that this is a stationery shop, and Ken loves stationery and knows a lot about pens. But it was a bit much. And then creepy older guy. But then, on the flip side, Ken. So yeah, I'm giving this one a 2.5 star. So, that is everything I managed to read in this 24-hour period, which I only finished 2 books, but I did also get through 35% of The Baby Dragon Cafe, and then DNF it. So, I still picked up 3 books today, so I'm going to call that a win. This was fantastic at 4.5 star, and I can't wait to talk more about it because it's actually my Patreon book club book for this month. So there will be a live show for this next week sometime for my patrons. I'm excited to talk about that. And then, yeah, mid with this one and a DNF. So we've really had a range today, which is quite something. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with how it went, and I'm sorry that there has been absolutely zero variation in this vlog. I have been sat here all day. I did go out to the shop earlier today, but I didn't take you with me for that, but I did go out and get snacks. But otherwise, I haven't moved. And maybe that's just proof to you that this little reading setup, this is where I live. Thanks for watching. I hope you've had fun. I don't even know how long this vlog has ended up being, but thanks for watching and hanging out with me for a little bit whilst I have another crack at my Patreon 24-hour readathon. My Patreon, by the way, is linked down below, and my Pokeathon readathon and the 24-hour readathons that I do every month are available to all tiers from £1 up. So if you ever fancied checking that out, the link to that is always down below. And once again, thank you to Serious Readers for sponsoring this video. Genuinely love my Serious Light, and it has been on my books most of the day. Whenever there's not real daylight, I've got this on. So thank you to Serious Readers for sponsoring, and the details of the discount and the link to them is down below as well. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!